It's not often that they let me have a morning show slot, but I have a pretty special guest with me today. Welcome, Tom Papa. Hi.
Good morning.
We're pretty excited to have you in Door County. So, Tom Papa, if you're not familiar, I was pretty excited to be able to talk with you, so I told my 8th grader about it today, and he's like, Tom Papa, sounds like a mob boss. Do you get that often?
Good sense of humor on that kid.
I hear you're from New Jersey, but you're out on the West Coast now. Which do you call home?
Yeah, I was born and raised on the East Coast, and I've been living in L.A. for a while now. But I can never just tell when people say, where are you from? I'll be like, well, I'm in L.A., but it always comes with an explanation because I think it shows that I'm an East Coast, New York, New Jersey guy at heart. It's always like, well, yeah, I'm here, but technically, I'm really, as much as I like L.A., I can't really call it the place that I'm from.
So you're not sure if you're going to root for the Dodgers or for the Giants or Yankees?
Yeah, I'm all Yankees.
Our Brewers didn't do so well this year. They started strong, but they usually petered out of the bullpen.
They were really hopeful this year, but that's all right.
So you have a long list of accomplishments that start from years and years ago. What is it now? Almost 20 years in the industry, but you probably most associate yourself as a comedian.
That is true. That's my main gig. I do a lot of other, radio things and TV things and film things, and it all really just comes back and feeds my first love, which is doing live shows.
So, late show appearance, Conan, Comedy Central. You were out on Joe Rogan's show. You have your own series, Come to Papa, on NBC. I thought you had a Food Network show at one time too. What do you feel is your favorite out of gosh, you have TV, film, stand up, now podcasts are, I guess we'd call that its own media as well. What do you feel has always been your favorite?
Yeah, I think it's funny that you always need to do all these things for exposure and for people to learn who you are. And when I was starting out, I was like, well, how do you make the decision on all this stuff, on what to do and where to put your time? And I think as long as it's funny, as long as I have a chance to be funny, then there's no making the wrong choice. When I had this Food Network show, I just started baking bread on my own, like in my house, making sourdough bread with my mom. And the Food Network came to me, and they heard that I was touring around and visiting bakeries, and like, we want to do a show about it. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird for me to be on the Food Network. But when I realized, well, it's kind of like doing crowd work, going and visiting these different bakeries, and as long as I can be funny on it, I'll entertain it and do it. So I feel like, not to sound all marketing-wise, but my brand is funny. And if I can't be funny, then I really don't have a business.
Have you always been the funny guy?
Yeah, I think it's just comedy. That's kind of what I live and breathe. And while I can act and stuff and be serious and all that, but I just would rather spend my time having a good time and dealing in laughs.
Are you still writing all of your own material? I'm assuming that as you're coming up and having to, just bust your butt, working all these different small gigs and small clubs, you're writing your own material. But now, as you've made it big, are you still doing all your own writing?
Yeah, I do all my own writing.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's kind of the joy. And, I'm in the middle of writing my second book. I'm on this deadline right now where I've got to hand in a book, which is about 70,000 words. And I've been doing that all summer long. And I just read about another comedian who had a ghostwriter from The New Yorker who worked with her doing the book. I was like, wait a minute, I've been cranking this out by myself all summer long in my office.
All the blood, sweat, and tears. You have a person?
Someone else comes and helps you write it. That sounds crazy to me. Like, I understand, like, if you're a celebrity and you're not much of a writer, I get it. I understand the reason for doing it. But for stand-up, for the book, for any of this stuff, it's like I'm expressing myself. To have somebody else's input, it just seems weird. That's not why I got into it.
It would feel like something is lost in translation.
Yeah. It'd be like, it's sort of like an avatar doing your stand-up act.
So you'll be at the Door Community Auditorium coming up this Friday, and I'm curious as to if you're doing an hour or a 2-hour show, how much material do you prepare for that? How do you stand up there and just talk for a couple hours? Do you feel like you're an actor and you're memorizing a script, or is it really just all organic?
It's a mix. There's definitely stuff that I've written that I'm going through that I'm my current act that I want to express. But then I also, in every show, keep it loose and talk to the people and allow different parts throughout the set where I can improvise and go off. And that's what makes each show really fresh. That what makes it each night kind of special, and it's not just for the audience; it's for myself. It's like we're all kind of exploring, going off on the edge on this, and it's going to be organic and special to us in that night, in that moment. So I really just try and kind of keep that balance, but there's definitely stuff that I'm working on now that will eventually be in my next comedy special that is prepared. But that's kind of like the roadmap, and then I can kind of go off it.
And put some filler in there that's maybe more regionally appropriate.
More. Yeah, exactly. I'm not doing Cats. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. This isn't all just to get up there and spit out the same act night after night.
Absolutely.
Luckily, we don't have to do that. Yeah.
So when they booked you, or your agent told you, hey, you're going to go to this little pinky peninsula that's out in the middle of Lake Michigan in this place called Wisconsin, were you like, where in the H is that? Do you have to pull out the map and be like, where are you sending me?
I was like, so how do I get there?
Yeah, we are at the end of the world. And there's nothing, there's no other routing for you. You have a few gigs in Wisconsin. Do you have personal ties to Wisconsin, or is this sort of part of the Prairie Home Companion Tour?
Upper Midwest is always good comedy crowds. Minneapolis is a great comedy town. I'm going back to Red Wing this fall. There's just certain areas of the country that just are good comedy spots, and this is one of them. So as long as my agent doesn't book them in the middle of the winter, I'm happy with them.
You're in a perfect season to come and visit us. Again, Tom Papa on air with us here at Door County's own FM 106.9 The Lodge, coming to the Door Community Auditorium on Friday. There's still a few seats left for the show. You don't want to miss it. Are you still able to, are you like going to be in the lobby signing your new book? I have this, there's one that's called Your Dad Stole My Rake. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's my first book, and it just came out in paperback, which we're very excited about. Kind of cool. The book actually brought me out into the lobby to see people, and when I would do these book signings and different things, and it's cool because you really get to talk to people and see where they're from and where they're coming, and you forget that you're up there and you're just doing the act, but it becomes just like this generic audience. And then when you actually sit down and meet them and hear like, oh, we just drove 3 hours to see you, and we've been watching you from the Bread Show, or we watched you from this show, and it's been a good excuse to connect with everybody.
I bet that's a great opportunity to find some new material too. You probably run into quite a few characters.
Yeah.
Well, we will see you in Fish Creek at the Door Community Auditorium. Again, that's this Friday. The show does have a few seats left. Go to dcauditorium.org. And Tom, we are going to welcome you with lots of laughter. And I think you'll really enjoy our little island we call home here at the end of the world in Fish Creek.
I can't wait.
Great.
I can't wait. I'll see you Friday.
Thank you so much. It's Door County's own FM 106.9 and 93.3, The Lodge.